Nice. We are live on YouTube and we are live on Instagram right now. Nice. So bright that I can't even see the screen right here. Let's see. Plop on that reflective filter like so. Cool. Okay. We are live and welcome. I feel like I need to introduce myself because I never say my name on this live stream. So my name is Paul. We're going to brew some coffee today. And we're going to brew yet another cup with these Kenyan beans. Yesterday, we got a really good cup of coffee. I feel like it still had some room for improvement, but it was getting really close. Now, the only change that we did was to increase the brewing ratio to get a bit more extraction for today's recipe. So just looking at the change, we are now brewing with a 1:16 brewing ratio instead of a 1:15. And that changes a lot of different things with the Tetsu Kasuya recipe because now you have to recalculate the different segments and doses that you'll be using. So a 1:16 brewing ratio means that you're using 320 grams of water, and the 40% segment becomes 130 grams, which then gets divided into a 65 and 65 gram dose. And I've decided to level these out again to keep it even. And this part over here, we have the 60% of the 320 grams, which is 190, which gets divided in two, and that is 95 grams each. So yeah, this will be our recipe for today. It's a bit more extraction, and hopefully it'll be delicious and balanced, because yesterday we realized that our cup was just slightly under extracted. And hopefully this will make it happen and make a really good cup of coffee. If not, we will have to tweak something else. So let's begin. I'll move you down over here. And I'll move you down like so. And as always, if you have any questions or thoughts, let me know. It goes down to court and talk and chat. Like so. Cool. Let's begin. Measuring out our beans. So. We got our coffee beans. There we have our 20 grams of coffee. Let's get our boiling water. And a cup to brew in. We have our cup, we have our Hario V60, and we got our filter. Plop that in there and preheat it. so. Toss our grinds in. Shake it out. Bring it over to the timer. Tare. And we have to cool down our water to 92 degrees Celsius. Like so. Nice. Let's begin. So our first segment that we'll be pouring is a 65-gram segment, and then another 65-gram segment. And then we're pouring all the way to 95 and then 95. So it's kind of weird to like calculate these numbers in my head while I'm doing it. So the first number that I'm hitting is 65. And then the next number I'm hitting is 130. And then the next number I'm hitting is 130 plus 95, which is 225. And then the last number I'm hitting is 320. And this is kind of like the weird part of this technique where you need to do some math to figure out the segments and increments that you're pouring in. Start the timer. Pour 65 grams of water. Like so. And we're letting it fully drain out before we pour our next segment. Like so. Now we're pouring all the way up to 130. Like so. Let that fully drain out. And then we're pouring all the way up to 225. 225. David asks, does your scale have a ratio mode? Been recently thinking that it will help instead of figuring out grams. So I'm pretty sure the Akaya software has like a flow rate mode. It has like things that it calculates on the app side. So you need to like link it to the Bluetooth aspect of it. But I kind of like just doing it manually because I know that in a ratio mode, it wouldn't really like figure out these numbers over here, for example. It wouldn't really give me that stat that I need while I'm brewing. So kind of like just doing it on my own, or at least like figuring out the numbers beforehand. And now we're pouring all the way up to 320, like so. And I have tried using the Bluetooth feature of the Akaya scale, but it was just like finicky. I didn't enjoy it. It just felt like an extra step that I didn't need in my brewing process. So I just tried it for a couple of brews and I was like, nah, don't need to see my flow rate. Don't need like a nice chart. Don't want to review my cup of coffee in this app. Meh. And there we have it. 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Bluetooth software for scales have been very bad UX-wise, does David say. Yeah, I feel like it's not streamlined enough for your process. It has an issue with just being a part of your routine. And when it's like a friction between using something and like the process itself, that just becomes like such an annoyance over time if it doesn't really give value to the process, or at least enough value. Okay, there we got the cup of coffee. I'll move you peeps back up over here, and I'll twist you like so. So just a heads up to you peeps that are watching my clips on Instagram. This will probably be my last one live streaming on Instagram because I'm not a fan of dividing my attention between two different cameras, and the comments section over here just feels like I'm not engaging fully with any one of the groups. And I know that down the road I can live stream to like multiple sources with just one camera. So I kind of want to like figure that out instead and learn how I can kind of like multi-stream with one cam. So yeah, Instagram, I'm staring at you. This will be the last live on Instagram. And if you want to see more lives, you need to head on over to YouTube over here. But yeah, still gonna keep on live streaming continuously on YouTube. And I've also been, yet again, like I said earlier, live streaming from my desktop setup. I got some cool ideas on what I want to do. And one of the things is to do research and make coffee infographics. So do a live stream session on just me figuring out like what kind of data I want to put into this infographic, and slowly design and develop the infographic to showcase some kind of like cool fact, or like a mindset or flow chart, or like some kind of a asset for as a graphic. And I think that as a graphic designer, it's just like marries two different skills that I'm good at, coffee and showcasing information and explaining things, into one. So that'll be some of the live streams at least. And I was thinking about coffee video games, just checking out the scene of coffee video games and seeing what's out there. I think that would be a really fun live stream too, just playing some weird coffee games and doing some commentary on that. But for now, let's drink the coffee that we have in front of us. Cheers. So, unlike yesterday's cup, this one doesn't have like a sharp acidity that the yesterday's cup had. And it's just way more pleasant with its acidity, which is good. And it feels very balanced, as in it's not either super sour or bitter. It doesn't dry my tongue. So we know that we've come to a point where the extraction is really balanced, which is great. And that same silkiness is there that I had yesterday. So whenever I move the liquid between my teeth and throughout my mouth, it really coats it nicely with like the silky coat. And what that means is that it just has a really good mouthfeel. And that mouthfeel just adds a lot to the cup's quality overall. And even taste-wise, I feel like this cup is the closest thing that is really showcasing those berry notes that I was getting in the cupping session. And I would be pretty happy with one of these cups at a cafe. and just enjoying it as is. It doesn't need a dash of water, I'm pretty confident, but I will add a dash later just to check it out for science, But overall, the best cup of coffee in a long time with these beans over here. Mm-hmm. So what's really making this like cup delicious is the mouthfeel. And then the taste is just slightly after that is like weaving in there. So taste is kind of secondary, but then mouthfeel is primary for me with this cup. Mm-hmm. Overall, really good. Let's just give it a rating while we have it fresh in our minds. So our recipe today was pretty delicious. Up over here, I would say that it's yet again the best cup we've had, and we've succeeded in making a balanced cup here. There is no, yet again, those sour notes aren't there. There is no sharp acidities. There is no dryingness. There is no bitter notes. There is no astringent notes, and the mouthfeel is good. So we know that it's a balanced cup of coffee. And to be honest, since I have hardly any more beans with this bag over here, I'm just gonna brew the same recipe tomorrow and have a really good cup of coffee. Normally, whenever I don't live stream and I get to a good point, I just write out the bag and enjoy it. But as you might have seen from earlier live streams, if I get to a really good cup of coffee early in the bag, I will do some different exploration and see if I can get a better cup for the stream by tweaking two variables at the same time and playing around with just different extremes of the cup to see what I can get out of it. But since we don't have any more beans to explore with, this will be the final recipe that we land on. And this is also the first time that I've used the Tetsu Kasuya for such a consistent period over a duration. And I must say, I'm pretty satisfied with the technique. It has a lot of potential, and what I love about it is that it takes the segmented doses into consideration. So for example, a lot of people just say one continuous pour, or like pour in 2 doses, or just like segment it out if the brewer starts overflowing, like slow down and then pour again. Well, the Tetsu Kasuya method really understands those segments and then makes it as a variable in the recipe. And as we played around with, those variables really do change the things that it's saying. I think I need to explore more with the sweetness and acidity side to see how much of that feels right. But I know that in the strength department, when you add more segments, it elongates the brew time, which then increases extraction and strength in this case. So it's really cool how this technique has taken this feature of pulse pouring and pouring in segments to then add another layer of control into the recipe. And I know that not everyone enjoys controlling their brewing recipes. They just want it to work. But for people who really enjoy tinkering and like doing slight tweaks and changes to your recipe, I think the Tetsu Kasuya is very like allowing for that, which is great. Mm-hmm. So what's on the chopping block today? I'm going to pay my rent. I need to go downstairs and drop off a check. But overall, just more editing. I got 2 videos I'm working on right now. And I also want to record another video today, hopefully, if I get the script up and running. And it's all about just a basic coffee roadmap for people. So kind of like what steps I would take if I could restart everything from the beginning to hopefully get a really good filtered coffee setup. So kind of just the steps that I would take and what equipment I would get or upgrades I would get to my setup at specific stages of my coffee journey. Because I wish I had something like this, or at least someone to guide me towards the right kind of like direction. Because when you are new to a hobby, you usually go and gravitate towards the shiny thing that might or might not add a lot of impact to your coffee and improvement to your coffee. And I was for sure one of those people that invested in a big espresso setup, got a lot of different brewers, and the things that really mattered, like a scale, a good grinder, a like solid water setup, and so on, were pushed to the side and not really upgraded that much compared to the other things that I was upgrading. Like, oh yeah, get a decanter, get another brewing device because I need to tweak around with other variables with a AeroPress or a French press or a pour over or a flat dripper. You know, it's just the importance of things were swapped around a bit. And I think that this roadmap would be really handy for people who are just getting into coffee to understand what a really good setup is and how you can slowly build up towards that setup and get a really good cup of coffee. But yeah, make more videos. That's the goal. That is the goal. So yeah, I hope everyone is having a stellar day, and I will enjoy my coffee on the couch. Maybe do a coffee chat while I have this coffee at hand. But I hope that you have a great day. I hope that you are enjoying your coffee, or you're about to go to bed, perhaps. Who knows? I have no idea where you reside and what time zone you're in, but just have a stellar morning, evening, or afternoon. Take care. And yet again, Instagram, this is your last live stream that I'm giving you. So head on over to YouTube if you want to see more of these brewing live streams. Take care. And I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Take care. Bye.